So the piece we've just heard, the title track, and some of the words of that track are based on this poem, Love and Memory by John Clare. Is this a recent find of yours, or have you always loved this poem?
No, my mum introduced me to John Clare years and years ago. I suppose it was the sort of the time he spent in a kind of mental illness retreat.
Yeah.
It was in Epping Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, and I grew up around that area in Leytonstone, so I think she just sort of thought I might relate to it. Yeah. I've really just sort of enjoyed his company over the years. After Tony Allen passed, the sort of the poem as a whole started to sort of resonate, very much with me.
Because there is a line in the dark journey from which there is no returning, and does that chimed with the mood of some of the record? Yeah,
I think so. I think it's all about memory and loss and kind of isolation and imprisonment. It does sort of offer hope as well. Yeah.
Let me ask you a little bit about Myth, about the Manchester International Festival. You've got a very long and warm relationship with it now, haven't you? You did the first one. What is that? What's the nature of your relationship with it?
Well, I like Manchester. I like the spirit of Manchester. I like the skies of Manchester. It's just an honour to be part of it again.
Yeah. But it's a solo performance looking at then all the different aspects of what you do.
I've got some Blur, some Gorillaz, some solo stuff, some Good, the Bad and Queen.
It's really fantastic because Femi, who's playing the drums, he was a student of Tony Allen's. He used to, when he was studying music in London, he used to get on the bus at Victoria and travel overnight at weekends to Paris and wait around till Tony was ready to give him a lesson, and then he'd get back on the bus and come back for Monday for school. So he's it's wonderful to have him playing Tony's stuff because he is actually kind of in the lineage,
So tell me about you. I'm guessing that a lot of the show, though, will be based on the forthcoming solo album, your second solo album.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think the story of that record kind of informs the choices. But I've got tunes I've done with other people I'm playing.
Yeah.
Stuff I've done with Massive Attack and tunes I've done with Tony Allen over the years as well. So just putting everything together to see if it makes all sense as a piece of work. A collective piece of work.
Of course, the forthcoming record, though, we've heard a couple of tracks already. We've heard the title track and we've heard Polaris, and we're gonna hear those today. This came out of orchestral pieces, didn't it, from Iceland?
Yeah, I got asked, what would you just love to do? Anything you'd love to do, anything, by this guy in France. And I said, I'd love to make a record staring out of my window in Iceland. And I've just got like a room with massive great window front that looks over the sea and to a mountain, Estia. And I started there with like a selection of orchestral players. And we get there before dawn, but dawn being like 11 o'clock. Because it's so little light at night in the winter. And we sort of sit there and just play as the light kind of arrived from wherever it arrives from. Sort of magically that moment where it's no longer dark and it's like the day again.
Yeah.
And then obviously COVID came into our lives and that wasn't possible anymore. So I kind of went down to the countryside in Devon and stayed there for like nearly a year, really. And not all the time, but I tried to just stay put for as long as possible. And I just got to the point where I was like, I've got to finish this. So I just finished it with Mike Smith and Simon Tong in my barn. It's just a dusty old barn and very cold, so it did have some sort of kinship with Iceland.
And I
suppose they turned more into sort of complete songs then. It was a lot more kind of a soundscape beforehand. So, but there's elements of that still in it.
And how's lockdown been for you, Damon? I mean, you spent a lot of it, as you say, in Devon, but as a creative person who I always think of as being incredibly busy, did it just feel like the shutters of life had kind of slammed down?
Not really. I just sort of kind of just concentrated on writing, really.
Yeah.
Improved my cooking a lot. Improved my swimming. Improved my cooking.
Have you got any new dishes? Any new signature dishes?
I became a bit obsessed with Iranian cooking for a while. Got very sort of excited about saffron.
So we're going to finish. With Polaris, which is another one of the tracks. Which I love this track. There's a real sense of a build in this record, in this track. Do you want to say a little about it before we hear it?
I always saw the Northern Star outside the window in Iceland, and sort of it'll be one of the first things to emerge after a storm. So I kind of got a sense of how important that must have been for ancient mariners and travellers to find that orientation. And also, Polaris kind of connects to my sort of obsession with submarines, and I think that's just when I grew up in the 80s. That sort of the sense we had of how dangerous nuclear weapons were. And Polaris kind of comes from there as well.
Well, we await to hear what you're going to play, but we're going to finish today, this morning, before Damon gets back to rehearsals with Polaris. It's lovely to talk to you.
Okay, bye.